Chapter 86. Alex silently watched the whole fight with full attention but couldn't get enough useful information from it. Misty used only her Golduck to quickly defeat the two Pokémon from participant 55. Although Alex wasn't sure, he believed that Golduck might not be at elite level yet. After the fight was over, Alex waited for the other participants to fight. He mainly looked at the top 8 participants. The trainer with participant number 4 was called Roberta, and she won her battle easily with her victory bell. When Alex saw this blonde girl, he felt that he had seen her before in the Pokémon games. Though he couldn't pinpoint exactly where he had seen her. This victory bell from Roberta looked strong, but not so strong that Crobat or Scizor would lose against it. Although Alex knew that it was most likely not the strongest Pokémon of Roberta, it still helped him increase his self-confidence. As long as the strength difference is not that big, Alex thought he had a good chance to win this tournament. Alex started focusing again when it was participant number 2's turn. The trainer's name was Junichi, and he was wearing a karate tracksuit with a black belt. Alex couldn't think of anything other than the fighting dojo in Saffron City. Although he wasn't sure whether he would be the main boss of that fighting dojo, he was confident that this trainer had at least one high position in this fighting dojo. He didn't remember the name of the fighting dojo's head, so he wasn't exactly sure whether he would be the future head of the fighting dojo. Junichi quickly defeated his opponent with his Hitmonlee, so Alex could not find much from this fight. As Alex was looking thoughtfully at the TV, a staff member walked in his direction. Participant 6, right, your fight is about to start. Please follow me. Alex and a young girl walked out of the participant room as they followed this staff member. When Alex entered the arena, he heard applause and mockery from the audience. Haha, is that the willpower guy? Willpower guy, give up before you embarrass yourself. Idiot, fucking idiot. It seemed that some people in the audience had seen the pre-show, and they were making fun of Alex. Alex wasn't surprised by this and didn't show an expression on his face. In comparison, contestant number 42, the female trainer, was much more popular with the audience. She was treated by the audience like a hero who was supposed to defeat this idiot. The referee looked at both participants as he explained the rules again. Alex and the female trainer looked towards the referee, and they called their first Pokémon at the same time. Kirlia and a Jumpluff appear at the same time in the arena. Are both participants ready? Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Pokémon. Jumpluff. LV. 29. Type. Grass, flying. Abilities. Chlorophyll. Gender. Male. Potential. Deep Bronze. Moves. Splash. Synthesis. Tail Whip. Tackle. Fairy Wind. Poison Powder. Stun Spore, Sleep Powder, Bullet Seed, Leech Seed, Mega Drain. TM Protect, TM Toxic, TM Energy Ball, TM Aerial Ace, TM Facade. Alex acted arrogantly. Kirlia, show this Jumpluff your strength. The female trainer commanded. Stun Spore. At that time, Kirlia, who had discussed the tactics with Alex before the round, didn't show a surprised expression after hearing Alex's retarded command. She used Teleport to get out of range of Stun Spore and then used Calm Mind. Jumpluff's Stun Spore move had not reached the expert rank, so he could not move while using it. So he had no choice but to cancel the move. The female trainer saw this and said, Jumpluff, go back within the range and use Stun Spore again. When Jumpluff started to prepare Stun Spore again, Kirlia was done using the Calm Mind. Immediately after that, Kirlia used Thunder Wave. Both Kirlia and Jumpluff used their moves simultaneously and hit each other Pokémon with their paralyzing moves. Alex, who saw this, suppressed his smile. He had told Kirlia beforehand that as long as she can paralyze this Jumpluff, she didn't need to worry about getting paralyzed herself. The reason is simple, Jumpluff needs its speed and agility to avoid attacks. Kirlia isn't fast enough to dodge attacks in the first place, so the paralyzed state makes a little difference to her. Especially when her primary evasive means is Teleport. Jumpluff, now use Leech Seed. Kirlia, who heard this, used Disable with a slower speed. Although Kirlia didn't use expert rank speed, she was still able to successfully disable Jumpluff's Leech Seed before he can use it. Although Kirlia was faster, she was only a bit faster. So the other participants would think that Kirlia's Disable is not at the expert rank. Alex wanted to show as little information as possible to the strong participant. Jumpluff. Use energy ball. Kirlia started preparing Psychic before the trainer gave her order. Psychic met the Jumpluff that was just preparing energy ball. Although Jumpluff received good damage, it still had enough HP to withstand a few more attacks. Jumpluff SP. Def was good enough to handle the attacks of Kirlia without losing his focus on his own moves. After tanking this attack, he used energy ball. Unfortunately, the energy ball was avoided by Kirlia via teleport. Though Kirlia wasted a lot of energy using teleport, it was worth it. After 3 more similar exchanges, Kirlia could no longer use teleport and had no choice but to use protect. Jumpluff, who had to endure 4 psychic from Kirlia, also knew that it won't be able to take on any more attacks unless he uses protect. Although Kirlia had not taken any harm and Jumpluff had only around 20% HP, Kirlia had no more evasive options left. Kirlia used Psychic 2 times more and successfully defeated the Jumpluff. The female trainer who saw how easily her strongest Pokemon was defeated had a dark expression on her face. She didn't mind losing to a stronger trainer, but she didn't want to lose to a retard trainer like Alex, who didn't even give a proper command to his Pokemon. Chapter 87. The female trainer called her second Pokemon. Go, Nenettles, show him what you can do. Alex looked at the Nenettles' info and saw that it was an LV-27 Deep Bronze. He knew that Kirlia was very likely to lose without any evasive possibilities, so he changed his Pokemon. Come on, Crobat, bring me to victory. When the referee gave the signal, Nenettles and Crobat started fighting each other. The fight was not tense and relatively short as Crobat easily won. Not only was he 8 levels higher, but he also had been trained much better than the Nenettles. Crobat took care that his expert rank moves didn't show too much strength and speed as Alex had told him before the fight. But even with this disadvantage, he won this fight with relative ease. Nenettles is unconscious. Participant 6 won this fight. When the referee said the result out loud, Alex's victory was not bathed with applause from the audience, but with a quiet atmosphere. Although individual viewers applauded for Alex's victory, it was not possible to suppress this strange atmosphere. The commentator said with a wry smile, "Wow. Participant Alex seems to be very unpopular." Professor Walder, who saw this, said with a stern expression, "Although he is strong, his attitude towards Pokemon training is fallacious. He also decides to be very arrogant, so it doesn't surprise me that he is so unpopular with the audience." Erica considerately said, "Although you are right, it is a bit mean not to give him the applause he deserves." Alex, who saw the reaction from the crowd, was happy instead of being sad. With this reaction from the audience, his camouflage can be a lot more believable. Of course, he didn't show a happy expression but an expression of suppressed anger when he left the arena. He went to Nurse Joy, who was responsible for healing the Pokemon of the participants. As he watched Nurse Joy put Kirlia's Pokeball into a machine, he thought about the Joy clan. The Joy clan is very influential in the Alliance and has a monopoly over the medical sector of the Alliance. This clan allows only female clan members to get high positions. Men from the Joy clan are mostly responsible for raising children and have no real power in the clan. Of course, the female clan members have different looks from each other. Although they all look relatively similar, if you look closely, you can see differences. Alex took his seat and opened the Kanto Rookie website to see the information about his next opponent. Although you can look up this information elsewhere, this website is the most convenient option. Contestant No. 22. Pokemon. Raticate LV28, Raticate LV31, Raticate LV32. Alex, who saw the participant's Pokemon, couldn't help but laugh. Wow, he is training the same Pokemon. I wonder if he has even more Raticate. Although it would be stupid in the games, it is not a bad option to specialize in a Pokemon type or even a Pokemon species in this world. Being such a type of trainer has great advantages as well. When he was thinking about it, he suddenly saw an interesting participant entering the arena. It was a poison-type Pokemon trainer participant who had participant number 3. His name was Mason, and he was a 17-year-old trainer with an indifferent expression on his face. He wore a ninja-like suit with a big red scarf that he wore like a face mask. When Alex saw this trainer, he couldn't think of anyone other than gym leader Koga. Although this trainer is not Koga, he certainly has some relationship with Koga whom Alex prefers not to provoke unnecessarily. Koga and Sabrina are trainers who Alex doesn't want to provoke, even if he later becomes much stronger than them because these two trainers have dangerous skills. Koga is a quasi-assassin with superhuman skills and a trainer who is very familiar with poisons. Having such a person as an enemy is a nightmare for any trainer, no matter how strong they are. Sabrina is just a monster. Alex can think of many ways Sabrina can kill him, even if he becomes much stronger than her. The only plan Alex could come up with to effectively defeat Sabrina was to possess a ridiculously strong psychic-type Pokemon that can suppress Sabrina's psychic powers. When he thought of these two monsters, he couldn't help but think of the boss who has them as subordinates. Giovanni's strength is difficult to assess because it differs depending on the platform. In addition, this world is a real world and not the world from the manga, anime, or game. So Alex can't get a lot of information. The second round started immediately after the end of the first round. After a few matches, it was Alex's turn again. He entered the arena with a mocking atmosphere all over again. Although it wasn't as bad as the first time, his popularity didn't seem to have increased. Alex and the male trainer simultaneously called their Pokemon on the field. Kirlia and Raticate came out of their Pokeball and faced each other. Not bad. It's a shame that Super Fang doesn't work as well as it did in games, and it has a lot of restrictions. Well, without these restrictions, this move would be very lethal, thought Alex when he saw the Pokemon. Raticate, LV, 32. Type, Normal. Abilities, Guts, Gender, Male. Potential, Shallow Silver. Move, Tackle, Tail Whip, Quick Attack, Focus Energy, Bite, Super Fang, Crunch, Hyper Fang. Innate Talent Thunderbolt E. TM Facade, TM Protect, TM Dig, TM Toxic. Are both participants ready? Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. The fight between Raticate and Kirlia was relatively tense and close. Kirlia used Calm Mind at the beginning for the reinforcement and dodged Raticate's attacks with Teleport. Although Kirlia was using Teleport, Raticate managed to hit Kirlia a few times with Quick Attack. Alex, who saw this, wanted to tell Kirlia to use Disable on Quick Attack but managed to suppress the thought. He tried to talk to Kirlia via telepathy before the match to test whether it could be used in a fight. But after a bit of testing, Alex found out that Kirlia consumes too much energy to maintain the telepathic connection if there is no eye contact, that it doesn't make sense to use in matches. It is better if Kirlia can use Teleport a few times more often than to talk to Alex via telepathy. Even though Quick Attack isn't a strong move, Kirlia took a lot of damage after a couple of hits. Kirlia is really not a Pokemon that can easily take on attacks. But after using Calm Mind 4 times, her SP at K states became ridiculously high. She managed to defeat Raticate after 3 Psychic. Actually, 2 Psychics would have been enough, but thanks to Raticate's Protect, Raticate could hold out one more move. Although she was able to defeat this Raticate, she used up all of her teleports. In addition, she only had around 50% HP left. But because Kirlia is still strengthened by Calm Mind, Alex did not exchange her. He wanted to see what she would do in such a situation. Chapter 88. The male trainer called his second Pokemon and waited for the signal from the referee. The fight was over pretty quickly with the victory of Raticate. After Raticate hit Kirlia twice, one of which was a critical hit, Kirlia quickly passed out and lost the fight. Even though she hit Raticate twice with Psychic, Raticate used Protect to block one attack. Thus Raticate didn't lose very much HP. Alex called out Crobat and quickly ended this fight. When the referee announced the victory of Alex, he heard the lukewarm applause from the spectators again. Alex ignored it when he went to Nurse Joy again to cure his Pokemon. As he understood, the first day of this tournament is to separate the strong trainers from the weak trainers. In this world, Alex is one of the few trainers who does nothing else but train his Pokemon. Although many trainers train their Pokemon daily, no one is a training monster like Alex, who uses all of his time for training. Alex, who enjoys training his Pokemon, can be described as weird. Even if Alex had no talent and items, he would certainly have become a strong trainer with enough time. Alex, who now had money, is like a reinforced monster that gets stronger every day faster than other trainers. Alex was sitting quietly in his seat as he looked at the information from today's last opponent. After this round, there will be only 8 strong trainers left in this tournament. Contestant No. 13. Pokemon. Butterfree LV29, Beedrill LV30, Scyther LV35. Alex noticed that the level difference wasn't as big as before. If he were to underestimate his opponent, there is a possibility of him losing this fight. Of course, he believed that even Crobat alone can defeat this opponent. Crobat vs Butterfree or Beedrill should be a quick win for Crobat. Crobat vs Scyther was likely to be a close match because both Pokemon have the same level and similar base stats. Crobat is slightly better than Scyther in terms of states. Fortunately, Crobat's type advantage is so big that he should win easily in a normal case. He takes almost no damage from a bug-type move and can do twice the damage with flying-type moves to Scyther. In a fair match, Crobat should win easily. Fortunately, this opponent is not strong enough for Alex to give up his camouflage. But the fight would be tough enough for Alex to start with Crobat to see if there is any need to send Scizor if necessary. He wanted to prevent unnecessary risks if possible. While thinking, he saw the same staff member walking in his direction again. He followed the staff member from the waiting room to the arena. Participant 13 or Tim, looked at Alex with a disdainful look. Alex, who saw Tim, couldn't help but be surprised. Tim's clothes were cheap and worn out. Usually, trainers with Tim's strength could easily afford better clothes. Only trainers who have little money and prefer to use it for their Pokemon wouldn't buy better clothes. Alex was the same before he got rich. It made more sense for him to buy his Pokemon a bit better food than to buy good clothes. Although Alex did not show it on his face, his appreciation for Tim grew a lot. Not many trainers understand how to use their money wisely. Alex and Tim brought out their Pokemon at the same time on the sign of the referee. Crobat and Scyther appeared on the battlefield simultaneously. Pokemon. Scyther, LV. 35. Type. Bug, Flying. Abilities. Swarm. Gender. Male. Potential. Silver. Moves. Leer. Quick Attack. Focus Energy. Double Team. Feint. Fury Cutter. Wing Attack. Agility. Slash. Razor Wind. Innate Talent. Giga Impact E. TM Protect. TM Facade. Giga Impact as an expert move is really lucky. This Scyther can be sold for a lot of money if he wants to, thought Alex when he saw this information. Are both participants ready? Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Alex said with an arrogant tone, use Fly. Tim said at the same time, Scyther, use Agility as long as it is wasting time up in the sky. Alex knew he would do that but wanted to make his camouflage more believable with this stupid move. While allowing Scyther to use Agility is a bit dangerous, it isn't that bad. Alex knows from testing that Agility doesn't double the speed of a Pokemon. It is similar to games when the speed state is increased by 2 points. But not exactly. In this world, the increase is much lower and depends on the move mastery. Crobat flew high in the air, and Scyther slowly increased his speed. Before Scyther was done with Agility, Crobat dived quickly in Scyther's direction. Scyther, after you've finished using Agility, use Protect. Crobat crashed into Scyther's shield and failed to break through the shield. Alex showed an annoyed expression when he shouted, "Coward! Even my Crobats has guts to fight head-on, so why are you being a sissy?" When the audience heard Alex, many of them started laughing. Alex didn't use the advantages of Crobat at all and preferred to fight in close combat against a Scyther. Although Crobat would likely win even in hand-to-hand combat, this command was quite risky. Only Alex knows that Crobat has a lot of close combat training, so he won't be at a major disadvantage in close combat. With the type advantage, Alex was certain that his chances of winning were relatively good. Even if Crobat lost somehow, Alex still had Scizor in the emergency. He had enough plans not to be afraid of this risk. Okay, Scyther, fight him in close combat with Giga Impact. Giga Impact on the expert rank is a devastating move and can do a lot of damage. Crobat used Protect directly without Alex's order to block this attack. Although he blocked most of the attack, Scyther still managed to destroy Crobat's shield and inflict a little damage on him. Crobat, of course, took the chance to use Wing Attack. With luck, Crobat struck Scyther in the head and dealt a critical hit. This hit made Scyther's head covered with blood. Tim, who saw his bad luck, couldn't help but curse out loud, FCK. Scyther ignored his head injury and used Giga Impact again. Crobat also used Wing Attack. Both Pokémon quickly exchanged injuries in this fight. After only a few more trades, Scyther couldn't take the damage anymore and passed out. This blow on the head did too much damage to him to endure any further attack. Even though Crobat won this fight, his condition was really bad. Alex would estimate that he had around 20% HP, and he can't take much more damage. Tim looked at unconscious Scyther with a wild expression on the floor. Alex took the chance to say loftily, "Give up. Even if you beat my Crobat, you have no chance against my Scizor." Although Tim didn't want to admit it, he had to accept that this idiot was right. His Scyther was his strongest Pokémon that had the chance of defeating his other two Pokémon. He didn't even believe that any of his other two Pokémon can defeat this injured Crobat. He should heal his Scyther quickly instead of wasting his time here. He went to the referee and quietly told him that he was giving up. Then he looked at Alex with contempt as he walked out of the arena. When the referee announced the end of the fight, Alex showed an arrogant smile. Alex gave an unsympathetic look to everyone as if he was looking down on them. The spectators did not applaud for Alex after his victory, so the atmosphere of the arena was weird. Alex, who saw this, couldn't help but think that he would become a good actor. Though Alex is not the kind of guy who would say, "I wanna be the very best at acting," like no one ever was. Chapter 89. After Alex won his last match of the first day, he didn't have to go back to the waiting room to watch the other matches. Although it makes no difference to other participants, it is essential for Alex to see the Pokémon of his opponent live. When he found a good place to sit, the next and the last fight of the day had already started. Misty against participant No. 13. Alex checked out Misty Pokémon during the fight. Pokémon. Golduck, LV. 39. Type. Water. Abilities. Damp. Gender. Male. Potential. Gold. Move. Scratch. Tail Whip. Water Gun. Confusion. Fury Swipes. Disable. Psybeam. Screech. Surf. Innate Talent Psychic E. Innate Talent Iron Tail E. Innate Talent Headbutt E. TM Protect. TM Light Screen. TM Rain Dance. TM Whirlpool. TM Hyper Beam. TM Blizzard. TM Calm Mind. TM Toxic. FCK, is this some kind of a sick joke? So many good and expensive TMs and 3 moves on the expert rank. In addition, it's almost on the elite rank. Alex thought about different tactics on how to defeat this monster of a Pokémon. While thinking, he saw how this Golduck easily beat the 2 Pokémon of participant No. 13. After Misty's match, all 3 rounds of the first day came to an end, and Erica started her goodbye speech for all the spectators. Seeing that, Alex left instantly. Alex knew that he still had to face 3 more strong participants against whom he can lose if he is not careful. And Misty is bound to be one of those 3. He went to the official page to know the Pokémon of all the participants. Participant 1. Misty. Pokémon. Golduck LV 39, Dugong LV 34, Starmie LV 42. Participant 2. Junichi. Pokémon. Primeape LV 33, Hitmonlee LV 40, Hitmonchan LV 38. Participant 3. Mason. Pokémon. Arbok LV 33, Weezing LV 38, Golbat LV 39. Participant 4. Roberta. Pokémon. Blossom LV 36, Vileplume LV 33, Victreebel LV 38. Participant 5. Jack. Pokémon. Rapidash LV 31, Ninetales LV 33, Magcargo LV 38. Participant 6. Alex. Pokémon. Kirlia LV 30, Crobat LV 35, Scizor LV 35. Participant 7. Harry. Pokémon. Sandslash LV 29, Nidoking LV 33, Pidgeot LV 36. Participant 8. Sarah. Pokémon. Pelipper LV 30, Shiftry LV 32, Staraptor LV 34. He also looked at the tournament tree. Misty vs Harry. Dash question mark question mark question mark. vs. Roberta vs Sarah. Final. vs. Junichi vs Jack. Dash question mark question mark question mark. vs. Mason vs Alex. Dash dash. FCK. Why am I never lucky? It would have been ideal if I were to fight Misty in the first round. That way, I could have made the most out of my camouflage plan. It looks like I can only meet Misty in the final, where she will already know what kind of trainer I am. That is if I can get to the final. Alex silently walked out of the arena in the direction of his hotel. Alex and his Pokemon sat together at a table and ate their food while Alex started on the TV. The commentator said, "Erica, which of the 8 participants do you think you will win this tournament?" Erica softly smiled when she said, "Although I think Misty will win, there is always a possibility that another participant surprises us and win." "Oh, which participants are you thinking of?" "The greatest chance of a surprise victory is probably Junichi, who owns an elite Pokemon." The commentator looked at Professor Walder. "Professor, what do you think?" Professor Walder showed a serious expression and said after the thinking of a second, "Yes, Misty and Junichi are by far the favorites of this tournament. Although we can't say that another participant can't win this tournament, I think it is very unlikely. Probably Mason has a small chance." The commentator suddenly said an amusing expression, "If we're talking about surprises, let's talk about participant Alex who made it to the quarterfinals." "Professor Walder, didn't you say that it would be difficult for participant Alex to get this far?" "Humph, although you're right that Alex made it to the quarterfinals relatively easily, you have to admit that he fought really poorly and only won because his Pokemon had much higher levels than his opponents. Especially his fight against Bug Trainer was unbearable to watch. His Crobat had so many advantages, and he decided not to use any of it. He fights as if he had just become a trainer yesterday. It's been a long time since I've seen such an incoherent trainer of this level." Professor Walder doesn't seem to like participant Alex. "Erica, what about you? What do you think of participant Alex?" Erica, who heard this question, showed a surprised expression. "Alex seems to be quite popular on this show since we are talking about him a lot. Hehe, but I have to admit that his character is really unusual. It is rare to see such a talented trainer with such a personality. It only makes sense that so many viewers are interested in Alex, though not in a positive manner." The moderator started talking about other participants in the tournament. Alex listened carefully when they started talking about Mason, who was his opponent for the next round. Mason seems to be one of the direct disciplines of gym leader Koga and has gathered a lot of knowledge from Koga. Although it was not said what exactly Koga taught him, Alex was sure that this Mason was trained not only for Pokemon training by Koga. Alex thought for a few minutes if it would be possible to defeat Mason without giving up his cover. While it was not totally impossible, Alex thought that he can't take this risk. The fact that he cannot fight Misty directly without his camouflage lowers his chances of winning the tournament. He looked at his TRH device and saw several messages from different people. "Maria. Hey, Alex. I happened to see the Kanto Rookie Tournament and saw your interview. It was really funny. P.S. Don't worry, I won't tell anyone about your plan. Steven. Alex, are you taking part in the Kanto Rookie Tournament? I saw your fight today, and I have to admit that I'm a little confused. Is this some kind of a plan of yours? Etc." Alex, who saw several messages, showed a smile and replied to them all. After the week that Maria and Alex trained together, they talked a lot and were able to assess the character of each other relatively well. So Alex was not surprised that Maria recognized that Alex had lied in the interview. Chapter 90. Mason, who was wearing his ninja uniform, stood against Alex with a scornful face. Alex, who was wearing his red cap and his usual training uniform, showed an arrogant look. Both trainers just looked at each other and ignored the referee, who slowly repeated all the rules. 3 vs 3 rules. Alex, who came up with a plan for this fight, thought that this fight should be easy as long as everything goes according to plan. Mason, who saw Alex's interview and fight, had no worries about his victory. For him, this fight was just a waste of time. Both trainers simultaneously called their first Pokemon at the sign of the referee. Scizor and Arbok appeared on the battlefield. Mason, seeing a Scizor, couldn't help but be a little worried. Scizor has many buff moves, so you shouldn't put your weak Pokemon against it. Mason knows this and would ordinarily use his strongest Pokemon to pressure Scizor right away. But when he remembered that he was facing a completely incompetent trainer, he ignored these thoughts. Mason doubted that Alex would use this chance. And even if he did, Mason didn't think he would lose. Because the damage this Scizor would get won't be so small that Mason had no worries. He preferred to use the chance to train his Pokemon. Alex, who saw the opponent's Pokemon, couldn't help but be inwardly happy. The interview and the previous fights were worth it for this fight. He was especially happy when he saw that his Arbok was a LV33 bronze Pokemon that didn't have a single move on the expert rank. Are both participants ready? Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Alex showed an arrogant expression and said, use Hyper Beam. Mason, who was also giving his order, quickly changed his order in the middle, use Lino, use Protect quickly. Arbok quickly conjured a shield using Protect, but Scizor used Focus Energy instead of Hyper Beam. Mason was totally lost for a second and couldn't give any further order. Only after a second, he realized that he set up. He showed a muddled expression when he saw Alex's sneer. Scizor used the time when Mason was distracted to successfully use Focus Energy twice. Mason realized that he can't waste more time and said with a sour expression, Arbok, use Leer quickly. Arbok didn't have a strong move that could deal significant damage to Scizor. Thus, he had used Leer first. Alex, who saw that Mason did not charge, became happier internally. Arbok was way too weak to prevent Scizor from buffing up. Although he could do a lot of damage to Scizor in time, Alex already had a plan to safely recover HP. After successfully using Leer to lower Scizor's defense, Arbok used Iron Tail to attack Scizor. Scizor ignored the pain and used Focus Energy until it reached the maximum effect. Then without attacking, he used Agility. Arbok used Iron Tail again and hit Scizor in the head. It did a lot of damage to Scizor. Scizor endured the pain and kept on using Agility. Mason thought, is this idiot trying to buff Scizor to the max limit? If he does that, his Scizor won't have much HP to take advantage of that. With 20 or 30% HP, these reinforcements are not really useful. After Scizor had finally successfully buffed up to the max, his whole body was covered in blood. Alex knew that Scizor can only take a move or two. Alex saw that his plan had worked, and said with a smug face, Scizor, use Roost and dodge all his attacks. Roost on the expert rank, not only has a more efficient in healing but also allows Scizor to move when using it. Do not underestimate this advantage. Alex had increased the speed of Scizor to an abusive level. Thus Scizor can rely on his speed alone to dodge most attacks. Although his speed was not as good as in the games, Scizor was now a good deal faster than Crobat. Only the moves that have a large attack area can hit Scizor now. Mason, who saw Scizor Roost was on the expert rank, showed a confused expression. Roost is one of the most expensive and rarely available TM, so Mason didn't expect that Scizor would be able to move while using it. When he saw his Arbok couldn't catch up to Scizor, who was healing, he had a terrible feeling. He fell completely into the trap of his opponent. Mason got angry and shouted, I'm switching. In this tournament, Trainer S are allowed to change once per round. Alex smiled when he saw that. Too late, he thought. Pokemon. Golbat, LV. 39. Type. Poison, Flying. Abilities. Inner Focus. Gender. Male. Potential. Deep Silver. Moves. Absorb, Supersonic, Astonish, Bite, Wing Attack, Confuse Ray, Swift, Haze, Leech Life, Mean Look. Innate Talent, Sludge Bomb E. TM Protect, TM Toxic, TM Taunt, TM Shadow Ball, TM Fly. Golbat, use Taunt. Alex couldn't help but smile hearing him. Mistake. You gotta know the condition to use it successfully. As long as your level is not ridiculously higher than your opponent, you cannot prevent an expert rank move, unless your taunt itself is on the expert rank, thought Alex. Golbat used Taunt but failed to prevent Scizor from using Roost. Mason looked a bit confused. Still, he said hurriedly, Golbat, use Mean Look. Alex, who saw this, knew that he couldn't escape this move. This arena is big but not big enough for the Scizor to escape from the range of this move. Scizor, use Metal Claw and end the fight. Scizor, who heard this, ran at a ridiculous speed in the direction of Golbat as his claws emitted a silver light. Mason knew the Golbat would be gravely injured if he was hit by this attack, but he didn't want to stop using Mean Look. Golbat managed to use Mean Look before Scizor hit him. Scizor hit Golbat's head with his buffed-up speed and sent Golbat flying several meters. Golbat's head was profusely bleeding when he got up. Mason saw that the Golbat could not take another hit and was worried. This Scizor shouldn't stay in that buffed-up state, or he won't have a chance of victory. Golbat, use Haze. Now that Scizor can't run out of range of Haze, Golbat can successfully use Haze to weaken Scizor's buffs. In this world, Haze that is not of the expert rank cannot completely remove all reinforcements. Alex saw that Scizor would lose most of his reinforcements after a few seconds and said, use Metal Claw. Golbat and Scizor both used their moves at the same time. Golbat successfully removed most of Scizor's reinforcements but was hit again in the head by Scizor. Golbat, who was hit twice in the same place with fast force, couldn't endure anymore and became unconscious. Mason, who saw his strongest Pokémon go unconscious, couldn't help but show an annoyed expression. He knew that he probably can't win this fight now. But Mason doesn't want to give up as long as he had even a small chance to turn this fight around.